This episode is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the date of the big game first before you accidentally buy tickets on your 20th wedding anniversary and have to spend the next 20 years of your marriage making up for it. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
Don't you love it when things are both easier and more affordable? Like when the rain washes your car for you. Or like when you save up to 10% by bundling your renters and auto insurance with USAA. Bundle with USAA and start saving. Get a quote today.
USAA. Now tuned into the greatest.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
Chicago to your speakers.
The best sports podcast there is.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, you like or you dislike, go ahead, shoot us a quick take. 219-413-9405. And of course, we'll play your take back on our next episode. And shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code The Run Podcast. Now, this code can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app or website. So I don't know about you, but basketball season is in full effect right now. So I still want to go to a couple of games, and you should too. So go ahead, create that account, and use that code The Run Podcast. Save yourself $20 off that first ticket purchase. Now, anyway, I know I mentioned the NBA is on the way, but that's not why we're here today. Because as you know, Week 18 just finished up in the NFL, and we actually have our playoffs set right now in the NFL. And the last matchup in the NFL, it wasn't as good as the game as I thought it was going to be actually to finish off the season, but it was a solid matchup. It was a chess match, and you got to respect the chess match when you're watching in the NFL. Between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings, man, Vikings fans was acting real wild. That's all I'm going to say. Vikings fans was acting real crazy, having these 14 wins and going into Detroit. They thought they was really about to go in there and put BTA. They was super confident. But they ain't really played no dogs like the Lions. I ain't saying they had an easy schedule or nothing, but I'll elaborate more on the game and exactly what I saw. But first things first, all you need to know right now is that the Lions, they secured the number 1 seed. So shout out to the Detroit Lions. I think this is the first time in history that they've been a number 1 seed. If it's not the first time in history, the last time they did it was like 50s, and it was over 30 years ago. So that's all you need to know about how long it's been since the Lions have ever won 14 games and all of that stuff. It's been forever. So shout out to the Lions. Glad they finally, securing the number 1 seed, and they need it. They need it more than anybody else in the NFL right now because of all the injuries that they've been dealing with on offense and defense. Like, man, they got a lot of crucial guys going down. But before I even talk about the number 1 seed and the importance of it, is I really genuinely watching this game, I don't know if there's another team that can outcoach the Detroit Lions. And I'm truthfully, genuinely speaking, and I think the Lions have the most talented coaching staff in the NFL. Definitely in the NFC, and you can make the argument for the NFL, including all those AFC teams as well, because the display that I see from Aaron Glenn making adjustments, the defensive coordinator consistently making adjustments and going out there with 4th, 5th string players and still threatening other teams' quarterbacks like crazy, it's ridiculous. Aaron Glenn damn near said, you know what? I don't care where you went to school. I don't care what was your rank. If you was top 100, if you was 4-star, 5-star, if you a dog, come play for me. And I promise you, we can go ahead out here and get some stops and get a win. That's what Aaron Glenn was damn near displaying in that game against the Vikings. He stayed in man coverage a lot. Sent his guys in to go get Sam Darnold, and they did a hell of a job to go get Sam Darnold. And this was a Sam Darnold that looked like he was back with the New York Jets. This guy did not look like a 14-win Sam Darnold and a quarterback of a 14-win team. Let's just be honest and call it for what we've seen. Like, that was crazy. And I got to give a huge shout out to Aaron Glenn because, man, Dude really he's been cooking up and he's been making things happen week after week. And there's adjustments that I see in his game. So yeah, there might be quarters and things where the defense might not look good. Lions secondary might be getting exposed the whole first half or something, but damn it, just know the third and fourth quarter, you're going to see something completely different. And I can respect the hell out of that for anybody who's coaching offense, anybody who's coaching defense, or coaching a team as a head coach. If you go out there and you make consistent changes, so that's actually helping your team, oh man, you got my respect. Aaron Glenn has done that. And one of my close friends said it, but he was like, look, man, Aaron Glenn might have secured a new head coaching job after that performance against the Minnesota Vikings. And I 1,000% agree with that. I don't think it gets more evident than that. Man, and then don't even mention Ben Johnson on the offensive coordinator side. Like, he's another reason why I say the Lions got the most talented coaching staff, because Ben Johnson's creativity is just ridiculous, man. His ability to get the offense going some way, somehow is just... You love to see it. You just love to see it from an offensive coordinator. A lot of times offensive coordinators struggle, and it is an adjustment period. But we didn't see the Vikings adjust and make anything better on their part when they was playing against the Lions. We've seen the Lions do this all 17 weeks and 18 weeks of the season. They've been balling like this. So, I got to give credit to them. And I think, man, they really deserve the praise of this elite coaching staff that they have, man. And now they got the number one seed. They get to rest a little bit. And this is needed because it makes the path so much easier to actually get to the Super Bowl. Obviously, we know the Lions have a clear shot at getting to the Super Bowl. But just know, if that defense gets healthy, then we're looking at it. It's almost certain that this team gets to the Super Bowl because, man, right now, you look at the amount of games you got to play at home and on the road when you have that number one seed, and it's a major difference. Your number one seed, you got 2 home games, and then you go to the Super Bowl, versus where if you're a number 5 seed, you're on the road for 3 games, and then you got to go play in the Super Bowl. So you don't ever see that home field advantage. And that's a huge deal. Anybody who tells me, it's easier to win road games 3 straight than winning 2 home games, oh yeah, you're a joke. Stop it. You must not watch the game. We must be talking about a different game rather than the NFL. So I think about that. And then on the path to who the Lions may have to play coming into the Super Bowl, I think this path sets them up for success because they don't really have to play any elite quarterbacks. And if they do, they're at home in Detroit. So, I mean, you think about the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, 3 of them are in the AFC right now. Arguably 4 of them are in the AFC. And then Stafford is going to have to go against Detroit if they beat the Vikings, if they even beat the Vikings. And then the Vikings, if they do play the Lions, they got to go back to Ford Field. So it's just like, man, Lions got a great path right now. They advance, they beat the Vikings or the Rams. Then they either got to see Baker Mayfield or the Eagles or Jordan Love. And Jordan Love, he ain't been playing that good either, man. He's been playing sloppy. But a guy who would be a great matchup for the Lions is Jaden Daniels. But even Jaden Daniels, he's inexperienced. He doesn't have a lot of experience as a quarterback. So I think the Lions would go ahead and X him out. And they really don't meet that matchup of elite quarterback play until they get over to the AFC, which is of course in the Super Bowl. So, this is a huge plus for the Lions, man. And I'm glad they secured this number one seed. I'm glad. I mean, it looks like they deserved it. Watching them play, they deserved it. In this game against the Vikings, the only thing I'll say about this is they dominated the Vikings. Lions absolutely dominated the Vikings. I thought the game was going to be close. I thought it was going to be interesting and fun and a shootout. Complete opposite. It was a shutout, damn near. Vikings got to the red zone 4 times, capitalized 0 times. They went for it on 4th down 3 times, capitalized on it 0 times. Lions' red zone defense was shut down, and their defense all throughout the game was shut down. It's no reason, absolutely no reason the Vikings should have been close to scoring the ball 4 times and came up with nothing but a field goal. They finished the game with 9 points total. That's it, 9. You have 4 chances to score a touchdown, and all you left with was 3 field goals in a game. Crazy. It was a dominant performance from the Lions. If you ask me, they deserved the number one seed, and they showed exactly why they deserved the number one seed, because nobody else is on their level. And I think the only team right now that's messing with the Lions and that could come close to even probably giving the Lions a run for their money is potentially the Philadelphia Eagles. Other than that, I don't think the Lions have much to worry about. Or Lions fans, I should say. Players, of course, you gotta stay locked in. But outside of the Eagles, I don't think the Lions fans have much to worry about in terms of taking this trip to the Super Bowl. But of course, you gotta take it game by game. You just never know. Anything can happen in the playoffs. And with the luck that the Lions been having, people have been getting hurt. They lost another corner. Hopefully he can come back. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Anyway, look, man, we got some news coming up for the run. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. And we'll be right back. It's halftime.